yun. So good day to the internal team of the BTP community. So welcome back again for another weekly briefing session. So today is August 19, 2024, So around 4:02 p.m. Philippine time. So the pre-market session is up and actually the market is moving and medyo may onting pullback tayo na experience with the Nasdaq, no? So, ayun, as always, ang goal natin in this video is to update everyone with what happened, no, with the markets last week, most especially yung galaw ng risk assets, commodities, and other macro benchmarks, no. And discuss din natin yung mga economic data releases last week. So, let's get into it. Let's start with what happened with the indices. So, put up ko lang yung ating Epic Pen para mas madaling makapag-annotate. So, starting with the indices, so last week, halos lahat ng index, no, are up last week. So, from the Nasdaq equal weighted, Nasdaq equal weighted, up ng 4.65%, Nasdaq 100, 5.24%. Pinakamahinang up move is coming from the RSP, equal weighted S&P 500. But in terms of the RSN trend composite scores, ang nagli-lead is the SPY, next is RSP, next is the Nasdaq 100, and then pinaka-bottom is yung small caps and equal weighted Qs natin. So looking at the trend, no? Looking at the trend, halos lahat recovered above their 10-day moving average. So the markets improved by a lot, and ayun, karamihan went above their 10-day and 20-day moving average. So actually, small caps lang yung hindi pa nag-recover above their 20-day moving average. So the SPY's 20-day MA line started to slope upward. So out of all major indices, siya pa lang yung nag-slope yung 20-day moving average. So eto, no. So hindi ko lang ma-zoom in since medyo may ako sa keyboard right now. So small caps still lagging in terms of trend strength. And out of all indices, SPY and RSP is showing relative strength out of all indices. So let's get into our indices. Tignan natin yung price action. So for this week, mainly, ito yung nakikita natin. No? So let's put our 5-day range. So basically, from this area to this area, bulls took control, and we can see that the SPY, no, recovered nicely this week. So last week, meron tayong na-experience na inflation data release, and the market celebrated on those news, no. So right now, we are testing this value area high from this swing high to this swing low. So ito yung trading range na tinitignan natin, this pullback range. So this might serve as resistance, no? So meron tayong mga trap. So yun, may tayo, no? Selling pressure tayo at this area. May selling pressure tayo at this area. Break-even sellers mainly, no? And mga profit takers most likely coming from the buyers at this 530 level. Yung nag-undercut and reclaim dito sa 100-day moving average. So, expecting ako na we might retest this gap area. Itong gap area na to. So, pwedeng may possibility tayo mag-retest at this level. Should the market risk off, no, as we go ahead, no, for the Jackson Hole Symposium this Thursday and Friday. So, the Qs naman, same, although not yet recovering with a full candle close above the 50-day moving average. So, if we're gonna look at this pullback range, no? So, move muna natin or remove natin yung drawings natin. So, let's look at the swing high to the swing low. Ayun, for Thursday and Friday, nag-recover na tayo sa 50% level. So, that's good. Ibig sabihin, bulls are in control right now. And halos in-erase na rin yung mga losses niya, no? From the, ano yun? Yen carry trade tantrum or risk of event. So, mukhang nag-recover naman yung market, no? Ang kailangan lang natin makita is kailangan niya ma-sustain yung recovery na yun, yung strength na yun. So, looking at the key moving averages, okay pa naman, above the 50, above the 100, all key moving averages above yung presyo natin with the SPY and Qs. 50 and 100-day are trending upward, although itong 20-day and 10-day mo still below the 50-day moving average. So, looking at MDY, so MDY is trying to break above this resistance level. So mainly itong double top bull trap was the risk of signal for mid caps, no? Right now parang na-negate niya na yan kahit papaano. Basically, kailangan lang natin makita na mag-recover muna above the 556 level before we transition to a truly risk-on state in mid-cap. So far, mid-caps and small caps are not segments na dapat pasukan pa right now. Basically kasi nandito yung pera eh. Nandito sa SPY, nandito sa Q. So bakit ka maglalagay in mid caps and small caps unless you are betting on a rotation trade. So yun lang naman yun, 'di ba? Yun lang naman yung punto doon. So same with RSP, mukhang mid cap chart din siya. Mukhang chart lang din ng MDY. So right now it's negating this double top bull trap. No? So ito yung swing low ng bull trap structure natin. Recovered above it. So good price action with RSP. So overall, since yung RSP natin is taking consider of all S&P 500 names, equally weighted. So this tells us na meron tayong broader market recovery talaga. Hindi lang tayo concentrated dito sa mega caps and big cap names na nag-recover. Hindi lang tayo reliant dun. So that's the main message coming from the indices. Next, let's look at the sectors and industry groups. So last week, actually lahat ng sectors are up, no, for this week. For last week pala rather. So mainly tech rallied, consumer discretionary rallied, and financial. So kung titingnan natin, yan yung mga top performers natin, and yung mga defensives natin like utilities, energy are stalling, di ba? Mga defensive names natin like even consumer staples are actually up naman siya pero hindi naman tulad ng tech sector last week na mag-celebrate talaga, no? And pulls to control. So, may stalling tayo na experience in XLU, XLRE. So, stay away from those sectors muna. Or pwede ka mag-possession on those sectors, no? So, may mga setups tayo nakikita with XLU recently. So, in the next video or in this video, if umabot tayo ng less than 40 minutes, I'll discuss some setups. So, yan yung mga ano natin. So, sectors-wise, 10, 20, all sectors are above their 10, 20, 50, and 100, 200-day moving average. So, all sectors are performing well in terms of trend strength. So, although may mga ibang sectors pa na yung 10-day nila are still below the 20-day moving average like XLF, XLV, downward towards the XLE natin. So, in terms of industry group, ito lang yung mga highlight natin, no? Yung mga groups na above the 70% BTP trend and RS composite scores. So yan lang naman yung mga gusto nating sectors if we're gonna trade swing and momentum plays. So we stay away from groups na below the 70% score. So PPA leads, insurance names leads, gold miners okay din. Lahat ng industry groups actually up eh. So, kung titingnan natin sa dashboard natin, so all industry groups are up, no? May mga ibang flat lang tulad ng natural gas, oil and gas equipment, tulad ng PJP, pharma names. So, this is good news with the markets, no? So, overall, ito yung mga momentum leaders natin. Broadline retail up ng 5.99%, regional banks up to renewable energy. So, if you want to trade follow-through momentum plays or pwedeng mean reversion plays, no? If you want to short, look for overextended issues or overextended industry groups, no? So yan yung mga top groups natin. So for top losers, wala tayong losing industry group for this week. So that's good. Key highlight for the week on sectors and industries. No, some sectors stalled, most especially defensive sector. So it's clear as day na nag-rotate toward growth names and offensive names yung market, no? Yung money in the market. So next question, no, in this weekly briefing session, ano nga ba yung mga events na nag-drive sa price action in equities, in risk assets? So number one, yung bull case for equities on inflation data print, yun yung nag-materialize, no? If you're gonna look at the inflation data released last week, no? Last week around Tuesday and Wednesday, PPI and CPI lower than expected and actually in line with the market's expectation. So ang ayaw kasi natin, 'di ba? last week, if inflation drops below negative, tipong -0.1, -0.2 PPI and CPI, that will signal a deflationary situation and recessionary situation in the US, no? So, mangyayari diyan, the Fed will cut rates aggressively. And
If the Fed cuts interest rates aggressively, ang nangyayari dyan is magkano lang yung inventory po level.
so, yan yung ayaw ng market, no? May mga margin calls na mangyayari, liquidation, etc., etc. So, right now, since PPI was slightly lower than expected, 0.1%, yung actual versus the 0.2% na expected, and both core and non-core was also in line, no, sa expectations ng market. 0.2% yung actual versus the 0.2% na consensus. So, yung non-core inflation rate year on year also declined by 0.1%. So, slight decrease in inflation. Ang naging message nun in the market is somewhat good, no? Parang hindi siya deflationary, like I've said. So last week meron tayong retail sales data, pati yung true stocks ng Iran-Israel. Kumbaga parang negotiation with Iran-Israel tensions, no? So, ang nangyari nung bandang Thursday, yung true stocks materialize wonderfully, although hindi ako nag-dig deeper or nag-deep dive on that narrative. Mainly retail sales data was up and it boosted the market's confidence na wala namang recession na nangyayari or deflationary choo-choo. So something like that. On Friday, building permits was slightly worrying, no? Actually miss yung data na yun. 1.39 million actual versus 1.43 million expected. Yung housing starts din declined by -6.8%. So that was telling the market na medyo humihina yung housing market ng US, no? Kita rin naman sa lumber commodity and lumber futures na nagde-decline, no? So equities initially sold off no Friday but the markets recovered during the afternoon session. So morning weakness, afternoon strength. Yun yung nangyari with the Friday price action. So main commentary and insights ko for price action pati for the market's price action with regards to the events. Parang nakikita ko na yung market narrative is somewhat shifting to the Goldilocks scenario state where there are still consumer growth, there is productivity growth, but declining inflation. So nagde-decline yung inflation slightly, but there is an up move in retail sales. Kumbaga may spending capacity pa rin yung typical American. So yun din, worries on the yen carry trade to be unwinding subsided, no? So kumbaga nawala na yung fear on the yen carry trade. Dahil parang ang mina-message ng current data right now is magta-transition yung Fed to a slow rate cutting cycle, no? Based on the data. So BOJ, Bank of Japan also stated na hindi sila mag-raise ng rates, no, if this produces volatility in their equity and bond market. So kita naman in Nikkei futures, parang okay yung market reaction recently, no. Tignan natin. Nikkei futures, ayan. Punta tayo sa daily time frame. Sorry, medyo naggulo-gulo. So parang in-erase na rin yung decline, yung 3-day decline ng Nikkei, no. So parang bear trap yung nakikita natin dito. So this is a Wyckoff spring. Pwede rin namang retest, no, we don't know. But full candle close above the 37,200 level is good for the Nikkei. So parang nawawala na yung takot with the Japan issue. So what happened under the hood in the equities market? So looking at MMTW, our main market internal measure. So this is the percent of stocks above the 20-day average. So above 50% na siya, no? So this tells us na mas madami ng mas madami ng names above their 20-day moving average, no? So kunwari may 1,000 stocks ka in a stock universe, more than 500 names are above their 20-day moving average, signaling that short-term bulls are in control. So even in our swing monitor that trails the 5-day movement in the markets, kahit primary bread monitor lang itingnan mo, we can see that there are more positive prints in the net advance declines, net volume spikes, daily momentum ratio as well, and net 20-day new high, new low data. So mas madami na nagbe-break above their 20-day highs more names are breaking and printing new 20-day highs and 52-week highs as well, 'di ba? So mas madaming names na nagbe-break above their 52-week highs. So far, no, parang bina-validate niya yung market recovery. Hindi lang siya concentrated recovery, but more of a broader market recovery. So next question, no, in our briefing session, in our briefing video, what happened with our macro benchmarks? Looking at the macro big five, looking at DXY, tignan natin yung DXY natin dito. Hold on. Yan. So starting with DXY. So breaking below the 102.8 level. So parang nag-decline din siya, no, with the recent uh, dovish data releases and developments in the market. So this served as tailwind, no, for equities. So right now it's also declining, no, for Monday session. So last week we experienced a down move in yields, in rates, serving as tailwind for equities. So may up move lang tayo na experience nung bandang Thursday on the retail sales data. So next, looking at Fed liquidity, slightly flat, no? Wala namang big developments in liquidity drain, liquidity injection, but good thing na above the 100-week moving average tayo and about to break above this RTL or resistance trend line. What you want to see is a break above this RTL and further liquidity injections. So that will thicken the bid and boost financial markets and the real economy. So US oil. So last week US oil rallied, no? So looking at daily time frame. So it rallied kahit WTI na nga lang. Yan. So WTI. So it rallied last week, no? As it moves toward the Iran-Israel truce talks. Pati may mga OPEC related news na na-release last week. So nag-resist naman siya at the 50-day, 100-day moving average. So right now, if you're gonna look at the weekly time frame, mukhang nagta-tighten up na talaga siya, no? So it's either we explode to the upside or explode to the downside. But looking at the weekly time frame, no? So kahit tignan lang natin yung 100-week moving average. So it's clear, no? It's clear na mukhang papuntang 65 level siya. Kasi we have a declining 100-week moving average and a declining 50-week moving average. So, ano yung implications nun with the markets or risk assets? Actually, a declining US oil is good for inflation. Wag lang yung tipong yung sobrang lakas ng decline na may signal recessionary or deflationary or will make the markets transition to a market narrative towards a recessionary narrative or deflationary narrative. Parang ganun. So XAU, the gold spot broke all-time high last week and successfully broke above the 1-month range. So tingnan natin yung XAU or gold, the SAO. So ito yung 1-month range na, breakout na siya. And right now, actually, nasa weekly pala tayo. Ito yung 1-month range to. This is the 1-month range. Mukha siyang rising channel or box, kung ano man gusto nating itawag dyan. But basically, it's creating new all-time highs. So, itong move with gold must be due to the declining dollar and higher probability for rate cuts. So, yung galaw kasi ng gold, madaming factors eh. Pwedeng due to a declining dollar or strengthening dollar. Pwede rin dahil sa probability for rate cuts. Kasi if you have potential rate cuts na magmamaterialize, that will be stimulative, no? For the financial markets and precious metals. Kumbaga, more liquidity, more credit availability, more availability of credit. So, ayun din, may possibility din na may mga geopolitical risks na napaprice in right now. So, hindi natin alam if it's the China issue, China-Taiwan issue, or Iran-Israel issue, or yung Ukraine-Russia issue. Mainly, hindi na natin kailangan tawag dito, alamin bakit. More on flavoring na lang yan. But mainly, gold related name, gold miners, gold related assets are actually attractive right now. Kumbaga, risk on tayo dyan. Risk on tayo dyan. So, we are around 18 minutes in. So, next section in this weekly briefing video, ano yung mga high impact news, ano yung mga potential risk events for this week? Mga conferences, mga earnings releases, for this week lang ah. So, let's focus on this image, no? So, mainly FOMC minutes will be released on Thursday, along with the initial jobless claims and yung PMI, manufacturing and services PMI, flash PMI rather, no, to be released around 9:45 p.m. Philippine time this Thursday, August 22, 2024. So on Friday ito, actually Thursday, start ng Jackson Hole Symposium. So it's a 2-day conference na central bankers, mga presidential candidates will will give a speech or parang discuss yung monetary policies, yung stance sila with the current fiscal situation, yada yada. So may effect yan with the markets. So it may trigger some volatility. So on Friday, ito yung main risk event natin, no? On Friday, 10 p.m. Philippine time, Fed Chair Powell will give a speech, no? So maybe may mga remarks siyang pwede makaapekto with what the market is pricing in. Pwedeng kala nila magkakat na yung Fed, pero by the time na magsalita si Fed Chair Powell, yun pala, no? Medyo hawkish pa rin yung kalalabasan. So my insights for for the upcoming macro events this week. So for the first half of the week, wala namang masyadong event, no? Mga non-event yung Monday to Wednesday actually. So dalawa lang yan eh. It's either we might experience a state of balance, mag-consolidate yung market. Pwede rin magkaroon ng indecision, no, as we move ahead of the Jackson Hole Symposium. So symposium rather. So may possibility mag-risk off or mag-consolidate nga muna yung market. So my bias is neutral to slightly bullish. So best case is mag-consolidate lang. Worst case, medyo magkaroon tayo ng deeper pullback. Pwede mag-gap fill yung SPY or mag-retest ng 50-day moving average. So second half of the week, my bias is slightly bullish, no? As long as PMIs, S&P 500 PMIs are still in line with expectation and yung mga data na may release for Thursday are not recessionary, no? Or recessionary in some way. Hindi pong, wag naman sana, no? So PMI, tignan natin yung expectation for the PMI. Manufacturing services PMI. So manufacturing expectation is 49.4, services 54.2. So if lower than expected yung services and manufacturing PMI, yun baka mag-trigger yun ng onting somewhat risk off in the market. We don't know, no? So ideally dapat above 50 parehas or kahit in line lang, tipong 50, 49.4. Services PMI, less than 50 is somewhat recessionary and might trigger some risk of pressure in equities and in risk assets rather. Yun. So, ayun, FOMC minutes to be released Thursday, 2 a.m. Philippine time, 0200. So may ano din yan, may bearing din yan with may bearing din yan on the volatility in the markets on Thursday. So expect some volatility by around 2 a.m. Philippine time. Friday, yun nga, always yan, risk event yan if Chair Powell will do a speech. So any hawkish remarks or reservations on the anticipated rate cuts on September, pwede yan mag-create nga din ng risk of pressure with equities. Bull case dito on Friday, if mag-signal siya ng rate cut for September 2024 onwards. So yun yung bull case. Pwedeng mag-celebrate yung market. So actually kung titingnan mo yung mga Mag 7 names, mukhang nag-set up siya toward that scenario. So earnings watch for the week. So far wala namang masyadong risk event in terms of earnings. So medyo nag-slow down na yung earnings season, no? So only 30 significant earnings releases this week as per our earnings calendar. So ito yung mga significant tickers natin. Industry tally natin, we have 4 software application names, dalawang household and personal products na industry groups to release their earnings, 2 semiconductors and others. So on Monday, EL will release their earnings, PanW after the bell on Monday. Lowe's will release their earnings on Tuesday before the bell. ADI will release their earnings on Wednesday before the bell. Snow, a CRM name, will release their earnings by around Wednesday after the bell. And Zoom. So on Thursday, Friday, wala masyadong earnings. So you can visit this earnings spreadsheet, no, in our market dashboard. So tapos na tayo dito in the US markets, no? In our briefing in the US market. So next is what happened in the Philippine markets. So PSEI broke above the 6.8K level, no? So broke above the 5-month inverse head and shoulder pattern. So ito 'yun. So meron tayong head dito, left shoulder, ito yung right shoulder, whatever, kung ano man gusto natin itawag dyan. So this is the neckline, di ba? 6'7", 6'8", sarado mo na sa 6'8". So nag-breakout siya dyan, full candle close today. So maybe we might retest this level. May possibility mag-retest tayo since meron tayong risk events this week, di ba? In the global markets. Okay, so ayun din, if you're gonna look at the moving averages, 50-day SMA line started to inflect upward. So good thing yun, no? So ibig sabihin nun na intermediate term bulls are in control right now. Although yung 100-day moving average more still declining. Ang importante right now is dapat mag-cross na yung 50 days sa 100-day. Para din mag-transition tayo to a much more aggressive stance in Philippine equities. So ngayon, index is now approaching the 7K round number key level. So that's a key level, millennia round number level, psychological level. So main question right now is kaya bang i-break ng mga bulls right now yung 7K level? No? So multiple times yan tinest and many times it failed to break above the 7K level. Konting nag-hover lang ako test 7.1, 7K, then distribute, then decline. So ano nga ba yung nag-trigger sa risk on rally in the local market? So ito yung main catalyst natin. No? So BSP cuts interest rates by 25 bips, triggering yung market rally. And isa to sa sobrang lakas na stimulative event to in equities, no? In local equities. So syempre, if you have lower interest rates, that will be stimulative in the financial markets and the real economy, no? So main question nga now is kaya bang i-break yung 7K level, and can we sustain this optimism if the global market risks of asset moves ahead of the Jackson Hole Symposium this Thursday and Friday. So commentary and insights ko for the local market. So if we're gonna look at the ETF FMETF, ito yung ETF na nagtatrack sa PSEI. So if we're gonna look at the volume profile, since 2020, nasa value area high na tayo. So it's now testing the value area high at around 6,900 level, no? So if we break above the 6.9 level, maybe madali nang i-break yung 7K level. Bakit? Kasi if you're gonna look at yun nga, yung 4-year range natin, manipis lang siya, no? Manipis lang tong volume node na yan. So kahit na round number level siya, if weak volume node siya or light volume node, then onti lang yung mga break-even sellers mo dyan. Onti lang yung selling pressure na may experience mo dyan. Most likely. So bottom line, kailangan pa rin natin ng confirmation from price. So that's my take on the Philippine market. So for this week, maybe we might retest, consolidate. Ideally, best case is mag-consolidate lang. Worst case is mag-break below ulit sa 6-7 level, no? Na pwede mag-trigger ng further decline. Hindi na natin alam ano yung maging catalyst if that happens. So next segment is ano yung nangyari sa crypto space. So if you're gonna look at the weekly heat map, Bitcoin is flat for the week. Ethereum is up. Yung mga other major coins natin like Solana, BNB is up. Although Solana is flat last week. So if you're gonna look at the heat map,
Meron tayong outliers dito. Super rare or rare USC is up tayo ulit po US average.
so if titignan mo yung ano niyan, yung chart niyan, may potential ano yan eh. may potential tawag dito, parabolic short setup, no? So almost 3 days up na siya with more than 100%, around 120% up na siya since it broke above the 0.09 level. So ano naman to, no? Parang speculative name to. So ingat lang din. So Toncoin forming an undercut and reclaim of the 100-day SMA line. One of the outliers then for the week, 12% up roughly. So Ton USD. Yan. So undercutting and reclaiming the 100-day moving average. So mukhang nagdi-distribute na tayo. We don't know, but may possibility din na ano to na reaccumulation siya, no? Since nag-break below the 100-day, then right now trying to reclaim the 100-day. Although may possibility din na we are just retesting this 150-day moving average. So if retest yan, then this is gonna be declared as distribution. So if may makita tayong full candle close above $7 in ton, then that's a setup na pwede mong i-trade, no? Long trade, I mean, long side trade. So Litecoin is also testing the 100-day moving average. So LTC USD, hindi pala 100-day, 50-day pala rather, sorry. So 50-day moving average tong blue line natin. So right now, if ako tatanungin mo, may bias for Litecoin is to go short, no? So if we're gonna look at the lower time frame, mukhang may distribution pattern na tayo nakikita. So nag-consolidate, broke below the consolidation, right now below the 100 moving average at the 30-minute time frame. So if it proceeds to break below 66, then that's a setup you can trade around, no? On the short side, a swing trade to the short side. So if we're gonna look at the weekly chart of Bitcoin, no, at the weekly, kung titingnan mo siya, bears are still in control, no? Bears are still in control in the short term, but in terms of the intermediate to long term, kung titingnan mo yung 50 week moving average pala rather, no? We have an uptrending 50-week and 100-week moving average. So bulls are still in control overall. So we still have that bullish bias on the weekly, no? And may probability tayo na mag-kiss and rally lang tayo muna dito. So punta tayo dito sa weekly time frame ng BTC. So this is a kiss and rally, no, on the 50-week moving average. So weekly time frame, if we recover above the 60k level lang muna, no, kahit 60k level muna, then we can transition to a risk on state in crypto. So on a bigger picture perspective, mainly it seems like bulls are absorbing yung mga trap pairs at this level. So yung mga break-even sellers mo at this double top area, no, noong 2022, kumbaga parang inabsorb ng mga bulls right now yan, mga defensive buyers natin. So we don't know, hindi natin alam, but isa yun sa mga perspective na dapat open tayo, no? So bearish case for Bitcoin, may possibility na nagta-transition nga tayo for a distribution, no? May possibility tayong nandun tayo at that state. Kasi kung titingnan mo yung daily time frame, di ba? Mas malaki yung declines mo kaysa sa counter rallies mo. And we are below the 100-day moving average and 50-day moving average. Hindi pa rin tayo get past the 60k level. So yun, yun yung bull case, bear case natin for Bitcoin. On daily time frame, isa lang sa mga comment ko, no, for last week, wala tayong na-experience na risk on reaction with Bitcoin, no, kahit na maganda yung inflation data and may mga developments, good developments in the macro. So ano yung implication nito? So if titingnan mo yung heat map, basically money rotated to other major crypto names like Ethereum and BNB, no? And other altcoins, mga other speculative altcoins. So if you're gonna trade the crypto markets right now, pwedeng short side scalps pa rin yung priority mo. So yun, for now, yun nga, commentary na insights ko on crypto. We're still in a short selling bias, no, on major coins. So what you can do is exploit intraday scalps, short scalps, and swings, no, as we are still below the all key moving averages, no, below the 10-day, 20-day, 50 up to 100-day moving average. So guidance ko for the week, yun, major indices are recovering, no? But let's be open for that risk of profit taking na scenario. So pwede mangyari yan, no, as we move ahead, no, of the Jackson Hole Symposium this Thursday. So expectations ko for this week is a potential balance state in equities. So best case is mag-consolidate lang tayo, no? Mag-consolidate. Worst case is no, yung tawag dito, yung gap fill tapos break below 50-day. So max portfolio risk exposure on longs for US equities is upgraded to 1 to 2% range. So if you're managing a long only portfolio, maximize mo yung market recovery right now, no? So pwede mong itaasan yung risk exposure mo. So if you want to go long on stocks with good setups, max risk mo on a trade still remains the same at around 0.5% per setup. So if you have a 2% portfolio risk, bali pumapatak na 4 na stocks lang yung pwede mo hawakan with 0.5% risk each, no? Max. So favorable setups for now or delayed entries on good earnings reaction. So kumbaga mga power earnings gap, post earnings stiff plays. So if isa-scan mo yung market right now, yung mga nagmamaterialize are post earnings related calls and pullbacks, no? Yun yung mga nag-work right now. So for Philippine equities, optimal risk exposure is at around 2 to 3% VAR, no? 2 to 3% VAR on your portfolio. So, if you're gonna trade Philippine equities, 1 VAR per swing or position trade idea. So, kunwari, tatlong stocks, tigwa 1 VAR. So, it actually depends on your portfolio size din, syempre. So, if mas malaki, lessen mo yung VAR mo. So, for Philippine equities, still observe na it remains slow. Mabagal pa rin siya. But, good thing na may mga follow-through tayong na-experience to on the swings. Kunwari, nag-breakout, may follow-through pa rin siya. May follow-through na ma-materialize. Hindi siya nag-chop, hindi siya nag-stall. So, that's the good thing with Philippine equities right now. So, if titingnan mo, ICT, plus, may follow-through talaga eh. No? So, in Philippine equities, ang meron lang ako, ICT. Hindi ako ICT. And, I'm planning to add on MWC, APX. So, yung mga setups na i-discuss ko on the next video. Yun yung mga tignan ninyo. For crypto, our scalping mandate remains the same. For swing trading mandate remains the same with a bearish bias toward major coins. With a bullish bias on altcoins in momentum state, no, on the daily time frame and lower time frame. So may mga parabolic shorts din na nag-show up like Rare, USD. So on the next video, setups and focus ang i-discuss natin. So for now, ito na muna yung updates ko and main discussion points ko for our weekly briefing video. So see you on the next video for our setups and focus. So yun, thank you for listening and making time, no. So good luck with this trading week. So Godspeed sa ating lahat, no, for the week of August 19, 2024. So yun, see you on the next video.